Let's take a step back, not to escape, but to see more clearly. We speak of Merkaba, not as a symbol, not as a belief, but as a state. A mind that is clear, a feeling that is deep, a self that is no longer torn between up and down, between right and wrong, between guilt and obedience. When we say we feel others, when we say we understand others, we must be honest. This kind of understanding no longer fully fits into the old images that were placed upon us. The Christian worldview, the Islamic worldview, family as a fixed order, roles assigned before birth, life as a test, death as a judgment. These systems gave stability, yes, but they also narrowed us. They tell us what a human should be before we are allowed to experience ourselves. They tell us what is right before we have learned to feel. They tell us who stands above us before we have ever arrived within ourselves. And now we ask a quiet but decisive question. Does it have to continue this way? If consciousness is not property, but a field, if life is not an obedience test but experience, if the human is not a sinner, but a learning being, why do we still organize our coexistence through fear, through guilt, through control? Why do we place children into rigid family structures instead of holding them first in community? Why do they learn adaptation early but self-awareness late? It could be thought differently. Early years a shared holding, community instead of possession. Many eyes, many hearts, not my child, but a human who is growing. And then at some point, not separation through force, but letting go through trust. Not escape from the system, but exploration of the world, not at 16 to function, but to experience. Life not as a line, but as a circle, birth, community, unfolding, return. And death then loses its terror, not as punishment, not as an end, but as a transition within the same field of consciousness. This is not an attack on faith, it is an invitation to maturity. Merkaba does not mean standing above religions. Merkaba means recognizing the underlying structure from which religions emerged. Clarity of mind, depth of feeling, no above, no below, a center. And perhaps that is exactly the point where we must stop asking what is permitted and begin asking what truly serves life.